Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about Hermes. So I'm super excited to share this video with you guys because I'm really passionate about the topic. And the topic is why I respect Hermes so much. In fact, the more I learn about the brand, the more I respect them. And I think by the end of this video, you might feel the same. So let me be very clear, this video is not going to be about me going gaga over Birkins and Kellys or the Constance, you know, the really popular quota bags. No, I want to focus on the brand itself, okay? I happen to have a Birkin, but that's not the point. I have other items as well from the brand that I enjoy equally. Or more, actually. So this video is going to be about Hermes as a brand. I'm going to talk a little bit about the history and the heritage, also a little bit about the quality and the craftsmanship, but for the majority of the time, I want to focus on how Hermes operates. Okay, because I believe that it's the way that they operate that puts them in a whole different class, puts them in a class all their own, separate from other luxury brands. Okay, that's why they're the creme de la creme in my mind, because of the way they handle themselves. So I'm going to share with you their recent financial results, their stock performance, what I learned about their pricing strategy, also share with you my personal experiences shopping with Hermes, and finally, I'm going to share with you a story that an Hermes sales associate shared with me a few months back that I find very interesting, and by the way, that really amped up my level of respect for the brand. Okay, so for starters, the history and the heritage. We all know this if we're really into fashion and luxury, but Hermes has been around for a super long time. They were established in the 1800s. That means they've been around for well over a century, well before any of the other luxury brands such as Chanel or Louis Vuitton even came into existence. Okay, so let's talk about the heritage. The heritage is interesting because they're really strongly rooted in horses, equestrian culture. And I happen to love horses. I've mentioned on my channel before that I used to ride horses and take care of them while I was in college. So the minute I discovered that Hermes has a strong connection with equestrian culture, I became intrigued and so interested to learn more. Okay, if you're saying, I don't really care about the history or the heritage, then let's talk about the quality and the craftsmanship. Because I think that regardless of how you feel about the brand itself, you have to really admire and respect the fact that for over a century, this brand has been keeping their quality and craftsmanship at this high level, high level, that other brands, it's no secret, are constantly aspiring to be more like Hermes in different ways, right? So of course, the obvious are, you know, the Birkins, the Kellys, the Constance. They're all handcrafted by dedicated artisans, and they're trained for many months before they even are allowed to try their hand at this. And it takes many hours to create a handbag. But even the lesser popular items, you know, whether it be other bags such as the Mini Eveline or the Bolide or the Garden Party, they're all handcrafted. So in my mind, it is an art form. It is a dedication of the artisans, the hard effort and work that goes into it. And by the way, even the smaller items, like the bracelets. This one here is my Kelly dog bracelet in the lizard skin. I love it. I love the feel of it. I love the quality of it. So I believe that the craftsmanship on the other items is equally as high level as the popular bags that we talk about. But like I said, let's talk about how Hermes operates. I believe they are super classy, probably the classiest of all the luxury brands out there, okay? And I'm going to back this up. Let me share with you some of their recently released financial results. Okay, here we go. Hermes recently released their financial results, and Reuters did an article on it. And you can see here a quick summary. Their fourth quarter sales for 2021 were up by 11%, but they missed their forecast by 1 percentage point, which is not huge, but we all know in the financial world, when you miss your estimates, that's always disappointing. Then the fourth quarter leather goods sales went down by 5.4%, and shares, their stock performance, dropped as much as 7%. So this is the latest snapshot of their financials. And you would think with all the price increases happening from the other luxury brands, we just heard about Louis Vuitton, I did a video on it, I shared my thoughts, also Dior, and Chanel, there's so much noise around Chanel, you would think that Hermes would take this opportunity to say, you know what, our sales dipped. Or you know what? We need to have healthier profit margins. You know what? Blah, blah, blah. And therefore, we are going to increase our prices like crazy, just like our competitors, by 20, 30%. Okay. Remember we talked about Louis Vuitton? This little canvas item went up by about 30% in the last round, and they have been having 2 to 3 price increases every year. The same with Chanel. Classic flat prices have just gone through the roof if you look at the trends over the last couple of years. It's pretty bananas. Yet here's Hermes, covered by another article in CNBC, stating that they have no strategy around price increases, okay? So people are asking, if your financials are dipping, are you going to take this as an opportunity to basically jack up the prices of all your popular items? And the Hermes CEO, Alex Dumas, is saying, no, not really. Don't really have a strategy like that. And here's a snapshot of their recent stock performance. You can see over to the right here, they were doing quite well up until this point. That's when they announced their fourth quarter results, and then you see a pretty noticeable decline. So you would think that right now would be kind of a ripe time for Hermes to say, you know what, our fourth quarter results were a bit disappointing. Our stock price is dropping. We have to keep our shareholders happy. Oh, by the way, there is also the real rise of the cost of goods. And so therefore, we have no choice but to jack up our prices. They could do that, you know, they could reasonably do that. And they really wouldn't deserve as much backlash as some of the other luxury brands that have already raised their prices, because those brands have much healthier profit margins and their sales went up in the last quarter. So if anything, Hermes would have the right to say, you know, we really need to raise prices by quite a bit. But look at this. Look what it says here in the Reuters article. Dumas, who is the CEO of Hermes, stated that they're increasing global prices by about 3.5%. 3.5% this year. Okay, that's half of what we're seeing in inflation. Technically, they could say, oh, we need to increase by, you know, however many double-digit percentage points. But no, 3.5%. So they're actually not pandering to the shareholders, and they're actually just being very reasonable. And I think that they are operating in a way that shows their integrity and their values. In fact, I have a quote, a beautiful quote I have to share with you. Look at this statement by Hermes CEO Alex Dumas. We do not intend to use prices as a way of ratcheting up further growth. Our price is the genuine price. There's a real rapport of trust between us and our customer, and I wouldn't want to put that in jeopardy. How freaking amazing is that? I feel like that one statement is so powerful. Basically, Hermes is sending a message to the entire industry. They're definitely sending a message to their competitors, right? I'm looking at Chanel and Louis Vuitton with all their crazy price increases. Basically, Hermes is saying, it doesn't matter how much you raise your prices, you're never going to be like us because we're different. We're totally different. So I don't know, I think that's hilarious and so cool at the same time. I think they're also sending a very clear message to us customers, saying that they care about us and that they consider us a high priority. They want to put us first. In a way, I also think they're sending a message to their shareholders that, you know what, they got this. They got it, right? So I think it's such a powerful statement. So now you can see why I respect the brand so much. I also want to share with you some of my personal experiences really quickly, and then I'll also share with you the story that I heard from an Hermes sales associate directly. So my first experience with the brand was in Paris when I visited their flagship store a number of years ago. I was on a girls' trip with my friends and we went in, and the first item that I picked out was this Click H bracelet and also the Kelly dog bracelet as well. And I have to say my first impressions were so positive because the French sales associate that helped me was incredibly lovely, incredibly warm, super friendly, very helpful, and also very patient because it was clear that I was a newbie and I didn't know what I was doing, but I wanted to pick out some bracelets, and she excitedly went to the back, found my size, and also brought out this color saying it was a new release. And by the way, I've gotten a lot of questions about this color and I have never seen it since. I asked my current Hermes sales associate, and he said that it has been discontinued. It was kind of like a limited edition type of color. But yeah, there was such excitement in her voice to introduce me to this, and it was just a lovely experience and transaction. So my first impression was wonderful. And I've mentioned this before in my previous videos where I talk about my other Hermes purchases. I've always had really positive, pleasant experiences anywhere, whether it be in New York and other cities, always very positive, no snarkiness, no snobbiness, no rudeness. And you know, I can say a lot about some of the other brands where it wasn't so positive, but let's leave it at that. And also, when I was traveling in another city, I met a really funny, down-to-earth sales associate, and he talked about his experience a lot. He'd been working for Hermes for a number of years, and I asked him, what is it like? And he told me this really cool story, which I actually shared in a previous video, but for those of you who missed it, he basically said that one of the years that Hermes exceeded their sales targets and really kind of everybody hit it out of the park, they shut down all of the US-based boutiques, all of them, every single one of them, took all of the sales associates and flew them to New York City, and they had an all expense paid experience going to Broadway shows and dinners, like legit. It was like 2 or 3 days, I think he said. And I confirmed this with my current sales associate at the New York City Hermes boutique, and he was like, yeah, I remember that. So yeah, and he too always talks about how Hermes, he always says, yes, they take good care of us, or they take care of us. And I feel like that's just a really classy thing to do. You know, take care of your customers, take care of your quality, and take care of your employees, your staff, right? How beautiful. I mean, I feel like that is underrated these days, and it really needs to be more applauded and respected. So for all those reasons, I have to say, I really respect Hermes, and I hope that you have learned something new today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.